very grateful to know that you exist and that you're doing what you're doing in Germany and that we get to come together in New York. I want to know for you, what is your vision for your work? What do you see?
Yeah, it's difficult because on one hand I think I have a big vision, and on the other hand I have no vision at all. So often when people ask me, okay, what is your vision, where it's going? And then I'm looking, saying, on one hand I don't know where it's going, because it's unfolding while I'm walking, and I don't know where we are going. And on the other hand, I think what really touches my heart and what is the, let's say, the enthusiasm behind my work is that since I started it, the work with people and on an individual and collective base, and to see what is transcendence, awakening of human consciousness and the potential of it, really excites me. So I do every day what I really love to do, and as long as I do this, I trust that things will unfold the way they need to unfold. So I built an academy, I did huge events in Europe and Germany, I'm working in different countries, so there are many things unfolding, which I could say it's a vision to expand the academy, to do bigger events with collective healing, and to run more of my trainings in different countries, and to have a more global impact, meet interesting people to collaborate with. So this can be a vision. But on the other hand, I feel that just the being in the moment and like now, we met and something is unfolding. And I don't know what is going to unfold through our talk. I think you also don't know. So, and this excitement of not knowing is something that I think needs to stay there on the spiritual path, that it teaches us the humbleness that we can have many plans, ideas, and there's something that we don't know. And I love this open space because it's very creative. We don't know how it's unfolding.
And something in that, in that space, in the middle, you've talked about your relationship with the future. Do you know what I mean? It's like the more free and the less there's ego, ideas and agendas and nonsense. Then there's almost like there's a presence, but there's also something. So do you want to speak about that?
Yes. Yeah, because I believe that when we are really present and we become more intense in what we're doing, and intense in the presence, in meeting, in running groups, in doing our work, then we actually, through the presence in the now, we tap into the future. But the future is not necessarily what's happening tomorrow, but the future is actually the future potential. Because tomorrow can be just a repetition of today.
Totally.
If I run the same pattern, it's the same like today, just with a different name. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. But the potential is, if I really develop with life, if I participate in the evolutionary potential of who I am, and I contribute this to the world. So I'm very much interested how can we, because spiritual development for me also means an expertise in innovation. Because if I'm open, innovation is for me a part of spiritual intelligence. So the more I'm more open to perceive that which I can develop into. That.
Clear.
So, and the more I perceive this, the more I become a carrier for this future potential, and the more I become a manifestation of that, which I can be maybe tomorrow. But this is not for granted that this will happen. And this is very exciting, because then we see that the spiritual intelligence that is at least in the Western countries, as I perceive it, it's a bit on the outskirts of the society. It's a bit on the outside. But spiritual intelligence needs to be an inherent part of society. Spiritual competence needs to be an inherent part of society, in our educational programs, in our economics, in our medical systems. So it needs to be reintroduced as a competence. And the spiritual marketplace is often doesn't appear so competent, because many people offer things in the name of spirituality, and when you really go and you dig a bit, then you find out that it's not very grounded in the deep mystical tradition and awakened consciousness. So how can we reintroduce a competent spiritual work, which can be recognized by competent intellectual and other institutions as something that it's good to have on the boat. And then we have all the intelligent, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual together. And this is a sustainable culture at the end.
And when you say spiritual competence, what do you mean?
I mean,
what are some of the competencies within that you see as genuine and, at the core?
Right. I see that spiritual competence, first of all, means that the higher levels of development and the depth of who we are is not just a random me experience, but it has kind of an inner science to it. If you also look, for example, into the teachings of the timeless wisdom teachings of great traditions like the Kabbalah, for example, you say the Kabbalah is an inner science, and it's not something that you access and suddenly you are someone, but it's something that most of the people need to practice and go into and put their lives to it for a long time. Like if you study higher mathematics, you need to give your life to this. Yeah. Otherwise, most probably you will not be extraordinary. Right. And in the spiritual tradition, it's the same. If you want to be extraordinary, grounded in the transcendental aspects of who you are, and in the, let's say, more subtle higher realms, then this is a competence. So to perceive much more information that is happening in the moment, between people, within cultures, and the meditation science, these are all things that you can be deeply grounded in as a competence. And often it's practiced as a leisure time activity, which is nice, but then it will stay this way. You will not have big breakthroughs, except there is a kind of a cosmic luck that hits you. Right. But some people wake up through something, like through a crisis, or then it happens to them. But most of the people need a constant practice.
So, question: how did you come to your work? What placed you?
I think
place to do what you're doing.
It was a strong drive. Like when I was 19, I suddenly had the feeling I need to meditate every day. And I didn't know nothing about meditation. I just had the feeling I need to give, how I call it, some time to God, or my contemplation. And then I studied medicine, and to make the story short, with 26 I had the feeling I need to go out from all that I'm doing, and I went for 4 years to a retreat. And I was sitting every day, meditating, exploring the realms of consciousness for 4 years. And I had some profound experiences in this time. And then I came back, and after 1 year, when I was back in Vienna in this time, there came a spiritual teacher to town, and Polo, and people told me, you need to go to him, you need to see him, it's very interesting. So, and I didn't go to groups in this time. And then I went and I met him, and I was in one of his groups. And then he said some things about me, and this opened the door. That suddenly people came and said, yeah, Thomas, we want to organize a workshop with you. And then from this, everything started. And then I went to the workshops, and since this time it's growing. It's just developing, and many things happened. It was a very intense time, the last 9 years.
Interesting.
Yeah.